Hello, my name's Fish on a Heater, and this is Tournament Takeaway, where I break down battles and kind of the decisions that get made, what works well and not so well in a self-tournament battle to help us learn how to get better at battling and build that ranking. Today, I'm gonna look at something that I have started giving a term to. It's a term that I created and I wanted to catch on, and I call it the motorbike. And a motorbike is something, I could refer to a single Pokemon or a whole team that hits fast, hits hard, but if you lose control of it, you're gonna crash, and you're gonna crash spectacularly. The classic example of a motorbike is Haunter. Haunter can just absolutely wreck some teams, but if you don't handle it properly, then it's gonna run off the road and you're gonna just burst into a ball of flames. So to demonstrate an example of a motorbike in team form, take a look at the teams that I used for the first few tournaments I entered in for Voyager Cup this month. This is my team, so I'm on the top there. I've got double grass, double fire, and then the Azumarill and the Probopass. Now, the reason I went for that is because both grasses and both fires do different jobs to each other. So I figured I wanted a grass and I would want a fire. If my opponent was bringing, say, a Toxicroak, then I could just bring the Venusaur as my grass Pokemon. If they were bringing like a Hypno, any other confusion user really, then I would bring the Shiftry instead. And that would give me flexibility with my team. Same with Marowak and Charizard. They have different strengths and weaknesses that would give me flexibility as to which Pokemon I used. Azumarill and Probopass were just the best Pokemon I could find to kind of fill the holes that those other four Pokemon left, which, to be fair, were significant holes. So therein lies the key to this being a motorbike team. Anything that counters both the fires and the grasses, I'm suddenly very, very reliant on the Azumarill and the Probopass to be at all competitive. Altaria is a big one. Altaria counters all four of those, but is pretty hard countered by Azumarill and Probopass. So any team with an Altaria on it, I am quite reliant on those two Mons, and if anything goes wrong with those two Mons, or if I, for whatever reason, decide not to bring both of those Mons, then I have the potential to lose real hard. It's a motorbike. It runs off the road, and you crash, and you do yourself a major injury. So this is... I've taken two battles. One is one where this style of play has worked well for me. I've really won comfortably. The other one, you'll see. Let's see, here we go with the first one. This is against Banana Tanks, who is in my local community, and I have taken in the Marowak against the Registeel. He switches out straight away, and okay, so there. You saw that I had Venusaur, and I also had Charizard. Now, the intention there is, if the Marowak catches a good lead, then I'm forcing them to switch out into something that might counter the Marowak. And if I remember rightly, everything that counters the Marowak in his team I can counter with Venusaur, right? So then that means my Venusaur doesn't go to waste, and then for the rest of his team, I can rely on the Charizard and the Marowak to pretty much take them out. If Marowak finds itself in against a bad lead, that's fine. I can let it go down, because then I can bring out the Venusaur. He's probably forced to switch, and I've still got my fire Pokemon in the back in Charizard. So that's the point of what I did there. And so I managed to catch the Stunfisk's charge move. And now I'm just in a lovely position. I think I got a bit of lag there. I did end up using the shield, I believe, just because I wanted to preserve that switch advantage, and Banana Tanks ended up switching out himself to avoid having to burn a shield, but that meant that I could bring the Marowak back in. And I chose to bring in Marowak instead of Charizard because I could still keep the mystery of what I did have in the back. Now the red is still gone. I managed to get out another Bone Club against the Stunfisk, burn that last shield. There are dogs barking next door, and I hope you can't hear that. This kind of beside the point. Just wanted to bring it up because I'm proud of myself there. Like, I knew he was expecting me to bring out the Venusaur. So I knew he was frantically tapping that mud shot, that mud bomb button, because, you know, that's the better option to use against the Venusaur than Discharge. So I brought out Charizard instead. And I was right. So I'm really happy with that. Unfortunately, it was really close to another Discharge, and so... But yeah, now, perfect, like, I've got so much energy on the Venusaur that even at such low health, it manages to take out the Azumarill. And I also managed to farm down the Stunfisk. So, I won there in the end with a shield in hand and 2 Pokemon. Like, admittedly 2 low health Pokemon, but I still had 2 conscious Pokemon and a shield, so that a really comfortable win, which was all put in place by that just hard hitting pressure and having a team that definitely has holes, but one that I kind of figured that would be able to counter what I thought tanks would want to do. Now, let's compare that to a battle against Hypnos Project, who is in my Go Stadium lobby, and you can see very high ranked there. I don't think I've ever beaten the guy, and I don't think I've ever come close. Let's see how he handles my motorbike team. And it's a classic example of how just as soon as like a small thing goes wrong, it kind of exacerbates and just sends your whole tournament, your whole battle right off the rails. Sends you hurtling into the gutter. So first I've got Shiftry against the Melmetal. Now you might have seen I had the 2 fires again in the back. And already first mistake, right? I bring out the Charizard as my switch, forgetting that Melmetal has Rock Slide, so I've already have to burn a shield there. Otherwise, that would have, I think that would have one-shot me. And now out comes Azumarill. And the intention here is to then bring in Venusaur to take out that Azumarill, and then my fires can just run amok, right? But Hypnos, being the genius that he is, doesn't fall for that. He just farms the Charizard right down. He doesn't bother using any energy. And that means when the Shiftry comes back out, plenty of energy. I have to use the shield. I'm probably not even going to get to another... Yeah, see, look at that. I think I avoided tapping the Leaf Blade there because I didn't think he had quite that much energy. I thought I had like time to do one more Snarl to kind of get up a bit more energy so I can take on the next thing. Also, I didn't do here the exact thing that I was so proud of myself for in the Banana Tanks video, which was knowing that he'd be tapping, knowing that he'd be expecting the Shiftry to come out and tapping that Ice Beam. Like, I should have brought out my other Fire Pokemon to eat that Ice Beam. But this is how, look at that. And even then, like, I had that slight sliver of health left and still couldn't get off the Leaf Blade. So really, just a lot of things that in themselves are quite small, but they just have catastrophic consequences. And there's the Dark Pulse. Finishes off the Marowak, and if you can still see it there, Hypnos wins that one. It almost perfectly. Almost has the coveted 2 shields, 3 Pokemon left. Had to burn a shield, so sucked into Hypnos. I bet he's feeling pretty ashamed of himself right now. Yeah, so isn't that crazy? Just the massive difference between the team working well and the team crashing in a ball of flames. So I call that a motorbike, and I hope that catches on. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. This is Fish on a Heater. Yeah, just work on building that ranking, and I'll see you next time.